Hey folks, how y'all doing today? Hope all is well. So this video is talking about your inner world versus your outer world, and how your outer world is in direct proportion to your inner world. Now, what does that all mean? So, simply put, whatever is happening right now in your life is based off of something that's happening in your inner world. Maybe, and it could be your fault or not. Because I know sometimes some life coaches say, well, everything that is happening to you right now in your life is because it's your fault. Like, you're calling it to your life. If you have a lot of friends that are negative, that means that you're negative. If you have, if you're in a situation right now, in a relationship, and it's not working out and it's abusive, that means that you're abusive. Stop the world. I want to get off. That is not what that means. So that is one level or one truth. Yes, it could very well be that if all your friends are negative, because the saying goes, right, birds of a feather flock together. So it could be on one level that maybe you two are negative. Perhaps. However, there is another thing at hand here. What are having all those negative friends there to teach you? What is the lesson for you to receive by having all these friends who are negative? Just an example, right? Not that you're negative yourself, but maybe there's a lesson there for you that you need to receive. Maybe the lesson is, I now know the patterns of negative people. So when I come across someone and within 10 minutes I talk to them, nope, I know that's going to be a negative person because I know the pattern. Right? So maybe that's preventing you from attracting negative people in the future, so you can sort of see signs. Perhaps that could be one reason. Another reason could be perhaps there is something in your life in terms of maybe a career or where you're living that is just not appropriate for you. And if you're at a particular job where everyone's negative, maybe that means it's time for you to leave. So I think there's other things at play there. So again, outer world is a reflection of the inner world. To give you a few more examples of how this is true, because we're all extremely connected. Everything, even something that is an inanimate object. Okay, Kadeem. Something that is simple or seemingly an inanimate object is connected to you. Like a car, for example. So, I'll give you this example. I know someone, actually I'm gonna give you a few examples of how this is working out. I know someone who has a car, and she says she got this car and she got it in a few months. She was sideswiped, and I think her driver's side mirror came off. Went to the mechanic, got it fixed. A few months later, she was sideswiped again. Sideswiped, but this time on the other side. Guess what happened? This time the passenger mirror came off. It's like, okay, what's happening here? Right? Like, what is the lesson here, right? A few more months go by. You'll never believe what happened. She gets sideswiped again. And the mirror on the passenger side comes off again. Okay, so what is the lesson here for her? The lesson could be, maybe she's a bad driver, which is not the case. I mean, I've ridden with her before in the past. I mean, she's a decent driver. The thing is that when this happens, though, she is never in the car. She's never in the car when this happens. She's always parked somewhere in a parking lot, parallel park somewhere. So it's like, why is this happening? Right? What is this here to show her? Okay. Another example. I know someone who, let's see, this was about a few years ago. A few years ago, someone had some bed bugs, right? Really, really bad, horrible bed bug infestation. Okay? That got cleaned up. Boom. A few months later, actually, almost a year later, she had a roach infestation. And it's like, what's happening? So you might think, well, maybe she's dirty. Maybe she didn't take care of herself. No. She's a tidy person. She's clean. She actually has someone come and clean her house once a week, and she's had that for some time now. So what is this here to teach her? What is it about the infestation of insects in her apartment? What is it that's there to teach her? Right? Is it that maybe there's a certain aspect, a certain part of her life that maybe is infested with something, and a part of her life that maybe needs an adjustment or a change, or a part of her life that needs to be cleaned up? Perhaps, maybe. But again, like, what is the meaning? The person that was sideswiped, the car, right, had the car mirrors falling off. What is that there to teach her? Right? Maybe it's there to teach her, hey, like, you keep getting maybe taken advantage of or something, but you never see it coming. Right? Because this just happened after the mirror fell off. So maybe it's something that she needs to check in about herself, because maybe she doesn't see things coming. Right? So whenever these sort of inward and sort of outward experiences happen, it's like, okay, well, like, what is the meaning of this thing? Right? So in the situation of the car, it's like, okay, well, what, the part of the car that came off, what does that part of the car mean? Right? What is the tool? What is the use for that particular part of the car? Right? So this was her side mirror. So it's like, okay, well, what's that about? Infestation in the person's apartment. Okay, what's that about? Right? What is that about? Is it about, things coming in, overtaking her life, maybe, and her not paying attention to the signs when they were first there? Because there were signs with this particular person. There were signs. There were these small signs, but she never really acted on it until it became too late. Right? So what are these things here to teach? I mean, I can go on and on about situations. I mean, I know someone else had a car accident. Totaled 2 cars in the course of I think like a year apart. Just so happens that in this car, he was with the same 2 people when the car accident happened. The first accident happened, he was with a certain amount of 2 people. Accident happened again, maybe like a year or so later, and the car again with the same 2 people. Car got totaled both times, and both times was hit from the same direction. So it's like, okay, again, what is this here to teach us? What is the lesson here? Because your outward world is always reflecting the inward world. Another example. I mean, I can go on for days. This is going to be my last example. So I'm using my grandmother as an example. So my grandmother has some breathing issues. And she had this cat, Sheba, who was amazing. But Sheba passed away from lung issues. He couldn't breathe. It's like, what? Like, why is that? Because the outer world is a direct reflection of the inner world. Because my grandmother had breathing issues, I believe the cat was connected to her and picked up some of her stuff. And he also had breathing issues, and he passed away in that way. Okay? So, inner world, outer world. They're linked deeply, deeply, deeply linked. I know for myself, when I moved into my apartment, for whatever reason, this is a different experience, but for some reason, I kept having dreams about my toilet overflowing. I was like, what? Why I keep having these dreams? Like, I don't get like why this is happening. But then, like, this was, so I started having these dreams. I first moved into my apartment, maybe like a year or so after, or maybe 2 years after I moved into my apartment, like all of a sudden I had a flood. Water was everywhere. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Okay, what's happening? Coincidence? Maybe. I don't think so. Because then I kept having dreams about my toilet overflowing again, and then maybe about another 2 years later, like a month or like a year and a half later, again, another flood in my apartment. And it wasn't like it was like water from like the rain or whatever, rainwater. It was just like one time a pipe burst, another time it was like the boiler. It was like, what is happening, right? What is this here to teach us? Fortunately, where I am now, haven't had anything happen for many years. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus! Okay, haven't had anything happen for a few years. The dreams about me and my toilet overflowing, that hasn't happened for a few years. But again, right, there was something that I needed to learn, something I maybe needed to let go from that particular experience that I had. Right, maybe it was stuff, I don't know, at that particular time that I had that, maybe the lesson was that I needed to like let things go, because maybe there were certain things that were continuously bubbling over, or certain things that were overflowing in my life because I was working so much. So there was just like an overflow of work. I didn't have time for myself. I was just doing too much. And I was bubbling over with just life. Maybe that was what that was there to teach me, perhaps. I don't know. But again, now looking back on it, I'm like, okay, again, what was that there to teach me? At the time, I wasn't there. I was like, oh my God, my water. Oh, the water. Right? But at that time, I wasn't like, what is this here to teach me? I wasn't there. I was like, oh my gosh, water again. So, outer world, again, inner world, super connected. So look at your life. Are there things, are there people, are there situations, are there events in your life, in the outer world, that's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I don't get it. Why does this keep happening? Maybe there is something in your inner world that you need to check out. And always try to figure out in the outer world, okay, what is the purpose for this particular thing? Right? So for example, when I gave the example of the car, the side mirrors, right? That's to sort of see things behind you. Right, from the side of you, by seeing things that are coming towards you, right? So when things that are happening in your life, and it's like, oh, okay, keeps happening in my life, okay, what is this here to teach me? What is the purpose of this outer world thing that maybe I can sort of now tune into my inner world and figure out what it is that I need to tie into this? Yeah? I know. Another long video, but so what I'm here for, when I get to talking, it's like overflow. Let me not tease in that way, because I don't want no more water overflow in my house. I think I'm good to go. Okay, no more water overflow. Thank you very much. All right, thank you for joining. That's it. That's all I got to say. So, I guess people usually say things like subscribe, click that red button, put on notifications, comment down below. All that stuff, I guess, is important. But my main thing is I'm just trying to get the word out, trying to get the information out, for things that I've learned and things that I've been given, whether through other teachers or things that have just been downloaded to me that I feel are needed for the masses to see, to hear, and to experience. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.